Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning for you, it's afternoon for me. I am coming to you live from Frankfurt, Germany today. I am here at a partner event. I gave a keynote this morning, but having lots of great discussions, lots of great meetings today, really around culture change. So I'm talking to a bunch of security folks and discussing the difference around the DevOps cultural shift and how that's a huge advantage and possibility for security. But I've gone over that a bunch. I've talked about that before on the show with Morning with Marks. What I wanted to talk about was the overall challenge around cultural change. So I find it really frustrating sometimes, and I'm sure you guys do as well, that culture change takes a long time. It's a lot of little movements forward and every once in a while push back. It takes time and consistent effort, persistent effort. It is very, very difficult. And from living in a technology world, living in a cybersecurity world, it's very, very tempting to push towards technology solutions, right? So I had a discussion with a product team a while back about their push to microservices, and I raised a question that was a little sensitive, and I said, is this push reflective of a problem with the process in the organization, or is it really the best architectural design? And that comes up again and again in security. Security, we have settled on an organizational design that doesn't align with our outcomes. Taking all the security expertise, putting them in a little in a pile, in a team, and isolating that team from the rest of the company doesn't make any sense. Logistically, it does not align with the outcomes, yet everyone does it because that's the way, because it's easier, because cultural change is really, really difficult. And that's the thing I find I always have to remind myself about, is that implementing culture change takes a lot of little efforts. It takes a long, persistent look. It takes the long view. And in technology, we're constantly pushed to be back towards the short view. So how does that tie specifically to privacy? How does that tie specifically to security? Well, it really comes down to creating the culture that you want, creating a culture that respects privacy, creating a culture that thinks about security. That's hard to do. It's really hard to do, but you have to start somewhere. So what I normally suggest is for people to listen, to understand, to talk to other teams. So if you're the security team, stop sitting around and having coffee with your team. Not ignore your team, you're still on a team, but get out there and talk to the development team, talk to the business units, start talking to people, start understanding their points of view, because that can start to help move that culture forward. You're all working towards the same goal. Nobody sits down wanting to write bad code. Nobody starts their day trying to make a configuration change that leaves you vulnerable. This is all perspective. It's all perception. It's all collaboration. There's no easy answers. And I know personally I have to continually remind myself about that, and especially in the role that I play, where I come and talk to an organization for a day and leave. I can't affect culture change. I can get people thinking about it. But that's a definitive difference between what I'm used to, where I can come in and explain a technology, say, listen, you can't deploy it like this, you deploy it like this, or take an approach, this security policy will implement what you want. It's really interesting, and there's a lot of second order effects when it comes to cultural change. We see that in policy, we see that in governance, we see that in any number of organizational things, and this gets way out of most people's comfort zone. There's a lot of soft skills, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of involvement here. But my takeaway message, what I wanted to remind you of today, or bring to your attention, because I am here at this great event, being reminded of it, working with a partner, Trend Micro, working with all their solution architects and all their consultants. I am reminded that culture change is probably the number one thing that we should be working on as a security community. It's also the toughest thing that we do. Because we don't do it right now. We really need to adjust. We really need to change our angle, and remember that while you're implementing technical controls and technical policy, the goal here is really to get people to start to think differently, to understand that they have a security first mentality, a security first mindset. In order to do that, you need to start working and adjusting people's perceptions of security. That comes with every micro interaction you have with them. That comes with the tools that you put in front of them. That comes with the discussions you have with them. That comes with the process gating that you put in place around projects and governance. All of it adds up to culture. All of it needs to be continuously reinforced, continuously maintained. This is not a one-time event. This is like gardening. This is a constant, persistent, years-long effort. In fact, it never ends. I think it's valuable. I think it's important. I'd love to hear what you think. Hit me up here online, MarkNCA, in the comments down below if you're watching this posted afterwards, or as always by email, me@markn.ca. I will not be on tomorrow because I'm traveling back to North America, but I will hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you online, and I will see you all on Monday. Take care.